I find myself as a man, small man from a small country who had big dreams. And the first dream was to create a brand which probably will conquer the world. And that's why. I went to public school, government school, and I think that's the story you're asking about. Our school didn't even have its own bus. I had to travel in the public bus, so sometimes I had to climb inside the bus, from the window before the big ones take the seat. I think today, with the love of the three generations who literally carried YY all over the world, and that includes Bhutan, and I would like to take the opportunity of thanking each and everyone who patronized our company, YY. Today, it's gone in our own modest way all over the world and making a difference. I think that's what it is big, but it's not enough. Big has no boundaries. Big has neither any complex. And you are living in the world, since I'm talking to the generation, who has to take Bhutan to the new world, the new level. I think you couldn't have born at a better times. Today's world has no boundaries because of technology. You have the same opportunity to do what Bill Gates did in United States or John Com did in Ukraine while inventing WhatsApp, or what I did in my own humble way in Nepal while starting with the YY. It's all about the power of idea. It's about connecting demand with supply. You don't have to literally carry it anymore. The social media's power, it has other dimensions too, but the social media's power has really, in a business sense, as an entrepreneur, brought the whole world on your lap. That's what truly I believe.
Lastly, so the fact that Nepal and Bhutan are very similar in nature, and being the mountain people and being laid back, and then having come all this way with your achievements. And so I would also like to quote you. So after the announcement by Forbes on the Forbes Billionaires of 2019 list in March 2019, you stated, "I am humbled as a businessman, you don't get a Nobel Prize. This is my Nobel Prize. I see this as a recognition for 40 years of my hard work." And I'm also aware this is the fourth generation of the Chaudhary Group. So your journey, the biggest challenges as Mr. Binod Chaudhary, and then the legacy that you've passed on to the fourth generation, your sons. So what has been the biggest challenge becoming a business billionaire from Nepal?
Well, again, I would like to echo, I think, the question or rather the statement that you picked up. For some strange reason, I'm intrigued, or rather disappointed, why a businessman who had changed this world, and I'm not talking about myself, there are many in this world. We can think of such names in India, we can think of such names in the Silicon Valley or in Singapore, anywhere in the world. In my own way, I believe that Bill Gates changed this world. It's not only that he made money, okay? The inventor of Apple changed this world. Our whole world revolves around that. But why aren't they qualified for a Nobel Prize? I think this question has always haunted me. So to me, to be recognized by the Forbes as a credible company with ethics, with transparent business practices, who also engage with the people and believe in sharing, I think that's the only platform, which I think gives that. It's not important. I'm sitting here today as Binod Chaudhary, tomorrow somebody else may be. What's important is, I think, the power of idea and power of entrepreneurship, okay, is no less important than any other sector. If I got your question right.
Yes, you did. And I'd just like to share on the sidelines just before coming on stage, Mr. Binod Chowdhury was reaching out to me and sharing that, do our entrepreneurial story really fit here? Because this is a lot of stories of folk tales and so much. But at the same time, we've also felt that this has come of a time where economic and financial advancements and independence has become so important, creating personal wealth to national wealth, and actually beyond that to be able to give back and to give beyond has become the discussion here. But apart from moving away a little from the success factors, I was going through your interview at the Harvard Business School, and then there was this a mention of this Asian culture, which is also existent maybe in the Middle Eastern and African culture, and maybe nationwide, globally as well, but more clearly seen in the Asian culture, where there's this sense of competition, or culturally people do not necessarily celebrate everybody's success, especially when it comes to business successes. You're not necessarily celebrated. So when you first started your journey in Nepal, maybe that was what you felt. Is it still the same, or has it changed over generations?
I think, you're so right. When I trace back the footprints, unfortunately, the word profit, the word entrepreneurship, and the word progress still needs to be accepted by the masses, general masses at large, in countries which are still developing, There is that mental problem somewhere. And I think there is a kind of a polarized effect to bring in, to pick up one isolated case related with any business to defame the business in general. That's not going to take the country anywhere. I think in my country, 80% of the investment comes from the private sector. Okay, and I just gathered that even Bhutan is going through that phase. There is a huge migration of Nepalese people to US, to Australia, to Canada. Okay, not to talk about India, because that's at a different level. Looking for opportunities, looking for future. People are beginning to lose hope. I think that's the worst thing. It doesn't worry me if our people go out, and I gather that I think to a certain extent that's happening also in Bhutan. I think we need to give the people, this generation, the hope that their future lies here. And that's where I admire the vision of His Majesty the King. I had the opportunity to understand, talk to him recently and understand that he's trying to open a new world of opportunity. He understands, he recognizes. I think your leadership is ahead of its time. This morning we heard Her Majesty talk about her own experience of how the former King 4, went through the process of transformation at very difficult time. And I'm totally convinced that this problem of migration will be a short one. Rather, they will go or learn the skills, generate resources and capital, and bring back the same, both knowledge and resources, to invest in Bhutan. To create the right kind of an atmosphere, enabling environment, to continue to promote that sense of confidence and conviction on Bhutan is going to be the job of the government. And I think Bhutan is moving forward, I think, in that direction. And because I would like to recognize my son Rahul, who's sitting here, and along with his partner, Pasang and Anand, they are building a beautiful Taj Hotel in Paro. So we are a little bit part of the Bhutanese entrepreneur community. Okay, we'd like to see that this sends out the right kind of a message. We need to build good stories. We need to build stories of successes. We need to build stories which believe in Bhutan and need to promote those all over the world. I think that's one of the reasons, in my own humble way, why I'm here today.
Thank you so much for believing in Bhutan. Um, and that is one thought that a lot of young entrepreneurs share, that people move away. Individuals travel, individuals explore. The more you travel, the more you learn, the more you can give back. And we personally feel, few founders who are here feel that the Bhutanese community who actually learn more when they go outside would actually invest back. And welcome to the family as well of Mr. Chaudhry to Bhutan Echoes. All right, Lasla. Namaste. And with all the business portfolio that you hold, yet you make time for a lot of philanthropy work. You have worked with the Jack Ma Foundation in rebuilding a lot of homes post the earthquake. I have worked with Melinda and Gates Foundation, and now partnering with the UN in Nepal to do a lot of projects, the SDG projects. So how involved are you, and why do you actually do it? It makes me curious.
You know, what I learned, of course, the family and the company has always been engaged, in the name of corporate social responsibility in our own way that used to sit somewhere in the group. But 2015, when Nepal was stuck with probably the third largest earthquake in the history, more than 800,000 people were homeless. More than 100,000, 30,000 schools did not exist. There were no roads, there were no bridges. And we found that some of my friends, because I'm in politics, so I have to own my share of responsibility, were still fighting for the chair that who's going to rebuild Nepal, rather than getting down to the work. And we mobilized our entire company, our entire group all over the country, first to sort of provide that what was needed at that time, food, temporary shelter, water, medicines, and then we got down to the task of finding the right technology whereby we could build a home and deliver, or build a school, restore a school can deliver. I tweeted in social media, and I found a lot of people came who's done similar work in Gujarat, in Srinagar, and they offered help. So we used the local material, which was still available after the earthquake, and used the technology and delivered the first home in 30 days' time. While the government, some of the nominated responsible ministries, as well as the new authority that was being created, was still trying to figure out who's going to lead that. Okay, and that's how we started the process. Why I'm giving that example, not to talk about. After that, that process carried on, me, my entire family, our senior team. We went to all those 16 districts and started to work. And what we got back in reward, you cannot imagine. The kind of a satisfaction, the kind of happiness on the faces of the people, okay? And I think that earned a different level of respect for our company and for our products. So there is also an alignment there. And I think businesses and the corporates are better equipped to serve the society if they put their heart and soul selflessly for that purpose. And that's why today the foundation, the philanthropy, sits in the center of our lives, our organization's life, because we truly believe that you can't separate the two. It's the sense of an existence of a corporate. Today, Bill Gates, or for that matter, J.R.D. Tata or the House of Tatas are better known for what they've done for the society than what product they have produced. I think that's the essence of living,
Lasla. So before we break open for the question, to the floor. One last question. a third dimension la. A billionaire in your business ventures turned into a philanthropy where you have done so much, and then you come in as a politician now. You are actively involved in politics, and as a politician, your belief in politics is politics for prosperity. So for how I see it is, it's like this Buddha nature in practice. Making a business where you are conscious and you're mindful. And with your mindful, conscious approach of doing business, the cornerstone of giving back to the society. And then again, maybe you're not really happy with just being able to give back through civil society or NGO field, through your Chowdhury Foundation. Did it involve you getting into politics, or how was it?
Well, let me first get into the genesis of how it started.
Yes.
I was very happy, growing the business along with my 3 sons and our partners. And then I was also equally happy, supporting the foundation, opening new vistas. We received tremendous amount of support from partners who wanted the local corporates to have a skin in the game, because in that you can find many different elements, who try to have personal gains in the name of philanthropy and CSR, there's no dearth of such elements too. But then whenever I would travel or I would meet this generation, there will be a question in their eyes, some in words and most of the time on their faces, that you have become the most recognized businessman of this country, successful, billionaire, etc., and we can't even find a job. We have to look for good quality education in India or in Canada or in Australia. What is your responsibility? I neither needed money, nor I needed recognition as an individual, as a Nepali citizen, and as a businessman. So that's when I thought that whether we like it or not, the fact of life is that ultimately the transformation of the country can't be made by a businessman by being a businessman. Because the power of changing the world lies in the pen of the person who is sitting in the helms of the affairs. I can build one school. I can build one medical college. I can support 10 schools. But if I know what Nepal needs, I can probably, and if I'm in the chair, okay, which you have to earn. And by the way, I must say that the way Bhutan has, because now I'm an elected member of parliament, so I have that authority to talk based on my own experience, because we have seen 27 governments in 26 years in my country. Okay? And the way we are seeing, I have studied during my last less than 24 hours of stay. I think you are handling the politics extremely well. You are handling the democracy extremely well. I wish we could do that. I really feel, but the person who is elected, who sits in the chair, has to be able to make the right decision and by keeping the people and the future generation in the center stage, be it education, be it health, and I believe it can be done. And I think I'm going to play my role. Whether they let me do it or not, I don't know, but I will try.
Lasla, thank you so much. I think the prompters have shown session ends. So do we take any questions, or should we end the session? Question. Maybe one question. Lasla.
The young man is...
Tashol.
So when you entered into the business world, what were your struggles and how were you able to resolve those struggles? That's all I wanted to ask.
Thank you, Daso, for your question. I think my life started with struggle. There was struggle all around. I was preparing to go to Bollywood at the age of 18. I was operating a discotheque, the first discotheque of Nepal. Okay? And overnight my life changed because my father had a heart attack, and that time it was considered to be a pretty serious problem. So my doctor said, you have two choices. Either forget Nepal and whatever business your family has created, okay, and go to Mumbai, or you forget that and sit here and run the business. So that's from where my problem started. I was competing with a stronger. I think that's what it is. If you are clear about your destiny, where you want to go, okay, a lot of people like to call it vision, but I like to further define vision without an execution plan is a joke. So long you are clear in your mind about where you wish to go, and you have a blueprint which you have to systematically chart out, and you do not budge. No matter who creates difficulties. Difficulties would be created by your competition, by probably some sections of the politicians and bureaucrats, by people who are jealous of you. But I believe that if you believe in yourself, there is always a way. And you have to find a way, never give up, continue with your journey, and you'll get there.
Hazur, thank you very much for your introduction this morning. I'm very interested to know, because many of my family members, and Aji Kinzang's husband also included, are all addicted to YY. Does YY have a secret formula like Coca-Cola? Because this is not just a few of us here. I know many, many people who are addicted to YY. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. You're being extremely kind and generous, sir. I think YY has the formula of love. And it spreads love. That's why generations and generations do not forget YY. The love grows and YY also grows. Thank you.
Lasla, thank you for spreading your love of YY to Bhutan as well, Lasla.
Let's thank you very much, Mr. Sangye and Mr. Binodla.